Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
We were saying that we all have like bombshell fatigue. It's hard for, us lay people sometimes to know, like, what's the difference, like legally what's a bigger bombshell? Because it seems like there's one a day, isn't there? I mean, I don't know what you make of the latest. I know you wrote a piece about, what's her name, Molly, the latest
Michael. Yeah.
in the espionage
and
case.
Guess what? You're right. They're going to keep coming. Like, we're in this period. In 5 weeks, in theory, the Fulton County first trial will begin with jury selection. That means we're in this period where defendants, that being Chesbrough and Powell, throw any kind of thing against the wall to see what sticks. So, you get again and again the motion du jour, and the jockeying really happens, except there's this broader theme to it, which is everyone's running away from Trump. So, Eastman 2 days ago, his defense is, Trump made me do it. Trump made me do it. And given the stakes of trying to extricate ourselves from 8 years of Trumpism, that makes these teeny little motions have potential galactic. Yeah, I'll go with galactic consequence.
By the way, we call the Powell cheeseburger that's the cheese on Kraken.
He is
the cheese on Kraken trial.
But here I am. Here's my value added to the Steph Miller Show this morning, and honestly is Chesbrough, who they mockingly called the cheese in his coterie of formerly of smart Harvard law types that he seems to have abandoned because he files the most crackpot motions. Yeah. But anyway, he is Chesbrough, a.k.a. the cheese.
The cheese. Cheese and Kraken.
For actual TV and legitimate, fact-based, solid reporting like your own.
Harry, is this Molly, Michael, is she the, as damning a witness as we're hearing? Because, not only, more information about your wrote, to-do lists on the back of classified information, but to me that seems like obstruction or witness tampering 101. You don't know anything about the boxes. I mean, is that legally as damning as we think it is?
Twice as damning. Because here's the thing: information comes out, but I was just talking about this. The prosecutorial vantage point is how is she going to play on the stand? So she is. The tweet I did was Cassidy Hutchinson to January 6th committee equals Mar-a-Lago Molly Michael to Mar-a-Lago. It's not just the info she has, which is really solid, but it's her absence of any axe to grind. Every other witness we know there, including if Nalta and De Oliveira get some sense and a good lawyer and turn, have pretty solid cross-examination that a good lawyer can do with them. Molly, Michael, you just sit down. There's nothing you can say. So she is the witness like par excellence, and we think in the public mind of what will Mark Meadows say? What will Eastman say? Forget those guys because they'll be. Don't forget them. But the cross-examination could be brutal, and the closing argument, here's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Molly, Michael, they cannot lay a glove on, and as credible as the day is long. So she is, to date, by far the most dangerous witness. And as you say, it's an incandescent moment of obstruction when he says, you don't know anything about the boxes, which, by the way, she's given him a picture of. She's told him, you've really got to stop doing this because there's all these maintenance men and people who know what's in them. So he says that, and it's like total mob boss territory. She could bury him on obstruction just herself, in part because she doesn't want to, and you'll be able to see that. She's not looking to bury him, but for that reason, she would.
So you are based in San Diego, down there near SeaWorld. We like to call it flippers. There's lots of flippers.
Yeah. Is it still okay to go there?
But as you were saying, it looks like this is why I can't even keep track of all of them. Weren't charged because we're finding there are more and more people that are cooperating. Who do we know for sure is cooperating?
Nobody, more or less, except Tavares. Yeah. So cooperating, is a kind of a term of art, meaning they've got exposure and they've cut a deal. Okay. And it could well be like the candidates in the Fani Willis case are the 30 people who were actually recommended to be indicted by the special grand jury and were not indicted by Fani Willis. It could have been they cut a deal. One of them, Lynn Wood, came out the other day. I don't think there's any chance that he is. One guy we know is Tavares. He was in Mar-a-Lago. He lied at first to investigators. I don't know anything about those boxes. He did a Sergeant Schultz. And then he got a real lawyer.
I see nothing.
And they said, tell the truth for God's sake, which is, by the way, just what happened to Cassidy Hutchinson.
Yeah.
But so he is, getting, in exchange for his truthful testimony, he will not face criminal jeopardy for the lie that he told, which is a crime.
Now,
otherwise, this is the time for people to be lining up, and especially in Fulton County, where Trump's not paying legal bills, and people are going to be bankrupt, and they've already started to turn against each other, like Jenna Ellis. But we don't know specifically about any cooperation deal. We wondered, did Mark Meadows have one? Because he wasn't named as a co-conspirator. Doesn't look like he did. There are probably some in the offing and some who will now, the prosecutors say, first come, best deal.
Yeah.
But
Harry, I've never...
The only one we know is Harris. Go ahead,
I don't feel like I've ever gotten an answer that I understand to this question. It seems like whoever, if he doesn't pay their legal bills, then they might tell the truth. But if he does pay their for their lawyer, they're going to lie for him. And I still, for the life of me, don't understand how that's legal to pay someone's lawyer, that obviously, so they don't testify against you.
Yeah, it's not, if that's why you're doing it. It is if, lawyers have responsibilities and they lose their license if they don't follow it. It's okay to pay a lawyer if they're going to be very vigilant and aggressive for you. But a guy like Woodward, who's representing everyone in Mar-a-Lago, and this is what Fonnie Willis just said too, you can hold a special hearing where you can inform the witness of what's going on. That's exactly what happened with Tavares. Instead of the Trump supplied lawyer, he took a public defender, but the public defender well advised him. So it's a little funky, but lawyers have surpassing responsibilities that if they embrace, it's okay. Cassidy Hutchinson, looks like that guy didn't embrace it, and it's trouble. But now look at the flip side, because if they're not paying, it's rough justice. But these trials, which are going to 4 months, millions of dollars to have a lawyer, sitting there for you. And if you feel like, you're going to lose at the end of the day, maybe best to cut
So, Harry, you're on MSNBC a lot, so maybe you can't say anything. But if you feel
I'm not a contributor. It's one reason I'm not a contributor.
Okay, yeah. Because if you feel like
MSNBC. No, I didn't say that.
Meet the Press should not give a platform.
Yeah, I really can. That's why I'm not a contributor. Go ahead.
Is why?
I want the ability.
Oh, okay, good. Yes. Well, I was saying if you feel like
MSNBC contributor, you wonder.
Yes. Right. If you feel maybe like Meet the Press should not allow a lying fascist criminal a platform, just do this like Jody's mom, Carol Burnett. Just do this.
Jody's mom, a comedic genius. I just got to say, but there's a question behind.
Yeah,
it.
Because people say, oh, well, the good, so he keeps incriminating himself every time he goes on TV. It's like, okay, Harry, how usable is that? Because he does do it. He did it in the Megyn Kelly interview. He did it in the Kristen Welker interview on Meet the Press. He does generally incriminate himself. But again, how usable is that legally is my question. Because I assume he's going to lie again. Nugget. Oh, that's not what I meant by that and blah, blah, blah.
No. Stay tuned for legal nugget.
Okay.
100%. Because under the rules of evidence, anything that a defendant says is not hearsay. You can admit it. And by the way, what you've just said, how's he going to try to prevaricate or get out of it? Well, the way you do it is you go on the stand and say, oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean day. I meant night. That's going to be hard on the facts. But guess what? It won't happen. Axiom number 1, or I leave town and move, which I may have to do if he wins anyway. He will not testify. It's a really important fact for non-lawyers to keep in mind. How's he going to even say, I didn't mean that? He's got to say it himself. He won't say it himself. So that's point 1. And point 2 is every single thing like that to Megyn Kelly or whomever is admissible against Donald Trump. So, he's playing these two games. The big casino he wants to win is the political one, but it's totally true that in playing that bigger game, he prejudices himself day in and day out in the arena that could actually be his undoing.
So I saved a couple stories. Georgia fake electors tell judge they had federal authority to push for Trump victory. This is obviously trying to get trials moved to federal court. Fani Willis argues differently, saying they had no basis for claiming to be electors at all and were fraudulently claiming that title as part of a scheme to block people's votes from being counted. So talk to us about all that, these moves to try to move things to federal.
So this one really ought to prompt guffaws. There are going to be 6 of these guys. Meadows, who has a shot. Clark, I think, no shot. And Trump will come in on the 30th, his last possible day. But the Georgia electors, what they're calling themselves is contingent electors. That means not really electors.
Yeah.
They are, Fani Willis had a great line. It's like, having a marshal's badge from a Cracker Jack or something and saying U.S. Marshal here. They are not, it would be a legal question. Is somebody that the state says you go be a federal elector now, do they become a federal official? But guess what? The state didn't say that to them.
Yeah.
They made it up, and they're trying to say contingent, but it was past that point. It was like a lie. We're not real electors, so that makes them pretend federal officials, and they can only get pretend removal, as in no removal.
It's like I used to call Jennifer Garner my future wife. It's aspirational. I'm not. They're not actual.
So,
if you're old enough to know to tell the truth, I feel like we should do it with fake electors. You don't know how to tell it. I'm an elector from Georgia. No, you're not.
Really about as satirical as this whole thing gets, and that's saying a lot.
So here's another one I saved for you. Trump's lawyers gambling on sneaky strategy in battle with Judge Chutkan. Legal experts raising red flags about a motion Trump's legal team made, calling it part of a nefarious plot to manipulate Judge Chutkan into allowing their client to continue to incite his followers. I guess this question is, what is she going to do? It is like he's daring her, right, to either do a gag order, put him in jail. I was saying Claire McCaskill said the other day on TV, right, about she should move the trial up 1 week every time he does it,
Right.
I mean, what
I hear that a lot, by the way, but and I don't quite see that because that seems like a due process problem. First, it definitely gets Jim Lauro, his lawyer, even more crosswise. Second, they're not trying to recuse her. What they're trying to do is have a legal issue for appeal. They know she won't step down. Third, what will she do? She, by all accounts, is a seasoned, cool customer, and she has the whole bench there. It's clear is kind of in it together and really thinking it through. They've all tried these cases of the marauders.
Yeah.
She's going to stay cool. I do think she'll do some kind of gag order because the motion from Smith is, when you see it all laid out, what he does day in, day out, it's harrowing, and it does pollute the jury pool, and it does endanger people potentially. So I think she'll enter something, but she won't. He will not get her goat. She's been doing this a long time, including in state court, and they're gambling that she may hate them, but they hope to have some issue on appeal. And let me just put in a marker here: he could get convicted. If she doesn't give him, if she doesn't put him in jail pending appeal, and I don't think she will, that'd be pretty harsh to a president, even a totally guilty one. It could be another year, 2, 3, until the appeals process runs its course.
Yeah.
They're already looking down the line at that.
Yeah. I just picture her as like a mom in the ball crawl at Chuck E. Cheese, just being pelted with colored balls and just not going to react.
Knowing when to call it quits.
Exactly.
She's really good.
Real quick, because we're long here, Harry, but you retweeted Allison Gill, who said the federal prosecutor who resigned from the Durham probe confirmed she quit because of the politicization of that investigation by Barr and Durham, which is exactly the bogus charges Republicans are making, that they're politicizing the DOJ. When I was just saying nobody politicized the DOJ like the Trump administration, right?
100%. And Nora Dennehy, old style honor. She resigns and doesn't say anything. We wished that she had at the time. She didn't, but did what where did that come from? Appreciate what she was trying to stave off, and she did it successfully. They were going to drop a report just before the election with all kinds of incriminating bullshit.
Harry, you and your potty mouth. I don't know what we're going to do with you.
I got almost the whole way with all kinds of incriminating details. Totally improper. It's like Jim Comey on steroids, and she said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
And I think that's what made them stay their hand. So she's a figure of great integrity, and now she hopefully will be on the Supreme Court.
All right, we love you, Harry Litman. We've gone way long, and we don't want to risk you and your potty mouth a minute longer.
Thanks, Harry.
We love you, Harry. Thank you.
Talking Feds.
Wow. There it is, my first drink of the day, ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And ZBiotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine. I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.